Hello and welcome to the United Stand, 10th in the Premier League, going out of the Champions League. Every single team that comes to Old Trafford who can pass on the ground embarrasses a negative park the bus Jose Mourinho Old Trafford side. How is it that those facts, one win in 7 games as well, speaks after a game with a smile on his face, openly says we aspire to be Man City and that we miss Marouane Fellaini? How can a man managing Manchester United do all that? Not only that, roll up to Old Trafford dressed like a shit Johnny English, grinning from front to face, mocking fans for mocking Juventus fans for achievements he's achieved at a different club, like he did it with the weekend with Chelsea fans, and absolutely in total control of his United destiny. How can that be? How can United be in all those difficult situations and that bloke who should literally be hanging on by his last fingernail, he's not hanging on by his fingernail. He's doing press-ups, pumped up, yeah, I'm the man. You know, absolutely at ease with the world. Absolutely relaxed. Absolutely in control. How is Jose Mourinho, and why has Jose Mourinho got Manchester United on strings? Because he has. A couple of weeks ago, he was going to be sacked before Newcastle. He looked like a beaten man. 2 weeks later, it doesn't matter what happens on the pitch. He's like the old Mourinho again. Mourinho United. And how is he doing that? And on top of that, I've got to say, I've got to applaud Jose for this as well, because there are still Manchester United fans out there backing Jose Mourinho, which is, I'm not going to try and change your opinion on that. I'm amazed by it. I'd like to know exactly why you are, but some of the nonsense I've been reading, it absolutely baffles me. But Mourinho, how is he doing this? How is he doing this? How can a man who is consistently, this season especially, producing terrible performances, negative tactics, mocking fans, playing fans? I mean, he threw you a coat, he applauded you, and then a few weeks later he's playing crap football again. How is he doing it? How is he so comfortable? And not only that, when he's queried as to why we're losing games, he openly now is saying, well, I haven't got the players that they've got. I haven't got the players they've got. I didn't get the players I wanted. Which is basically mocking the board who employ him. So what has Mourinho done that he's now so at ease with the world that he doesn't really give a shit about the performances, he doesn't really care about the results, and he doesn't really care about what he says about the board because he knows they won't sack him? Why is that? Has he been told that? Or is it simply Jose Mourinho doesn't really care? Because Jose Mourinho's on a winner here. Jose Mourinho knows if he gets sacked, he's a very, very rich man. And if he doesn't get sacked, he's a very, very rich man. How is he doing it at Manchester United? And why are some Manchester United fans still backing him? Because I see a lot of frustration on social media. I see a lot of people in our comments very, very angry saying, how can this be happening? I read something just before I came live, actually. It was on the Manchester United website. Stuart Matheson wrote it. Just ridiculous. Not a ridiculous article. I'd never say that about a journalist. But a ridiculous sort of theory on where we are. Because basically the article was saying it was 1996. Manchester United lost to Juventus. A very experienced, strong Juventus team led by Lippi. It was only a few short months later that United were winning trophies and then obviously the treble in 99. It's like, hello? Are you seriously comparing 1996 and what Sir Alex Ferguson was building to the shit shower we're getting under Jose Mourinho at the moment? Are you seriously do you seriously think we are building something like Sir Alex Ferguson was always building? I remember 2005 when Rooney and Ronaldo were young. We hadn't won the title. Mourinho had come in. We won the Carabao Cup. We got knocked out of the Champions League very early, and I think we came second or third in the league. And there were some people saying Sir Alex Ferguson out. The people were very, very unhappy with it. For finishing in the top 4, for winning the Carabao Cup, and having 2 of the best young talents in world football in Ronaldo and Rooney. But we were going through a rebuild, and it needed a bit of patience. And that patience, within 2 years, came around because we won the European Cup. We won 3 titles in a row. We were building something. I think these parallels of the past that people keep harking back to. Well, Sir Alex Ferguson, when he first came, it took him a few years to win the title. Look, I was a little kid when that happened, but I still remember that Sir Alex Ferguson had a vision for Manchester United from the youth all the way through. From the players he brought in, he had a certain way of doing things. He was a young manager. He was a hungry manager. He was a passionate manager. And yes, he nearly got the sack a couple of times, potentially, but he was building something. The vision was there. Some of the performances were there. Some of the football was there. It's not there with Jose Mourinho. It isn't there. You're looking into history books and you're rewriting history. I've got a cough. But you are rewriting history. There is nothing to pin your hat on Jose Mourinho other than a CV that doesn't apply to Manchester United and actually doesn't apply to modern day football. Jose Mourinho, we don't know his best 11. We don't know his philosophy. And you know what? His signings have been a shambles. Absolute shambles. He's had over £300 million spent and they've all been a shambles. So these fans who say, oh, we're building something here. This happened with Sir Alex. What are we building? What are we building? I mean, part of this show is really so that the Jose Mourinhos can get in the live comments and start telling us why they're backing Mourinho. Why are you doing it? I don't understand it. Is it simply because he's Manchester United manager? Win, lose or draw, back your manager. Because if it's that, that's fine. That's fair enough. But are you really, really believing that he's building something here? Really? Look, Juventus are a good team. But Brighton are not a good team. West Ham are not a good team. Derby County are a championship side. Wolves are a team that are mid-table. These are teams that have all been to Old Trafford and played as well or even better than Juventus did. So, obviously West Ham and Brighton were away. But I don't know what people think we're building under Jose Mourinho. I don't know what people think, what they think is going to happen. Sorry, I've got a bit of a tickle here. We're going to finish in outside the top four. We're going to be back in the Emmerdale Cup. That's what's going to happen to Manchester United, without a shadow of a doubt. Mr. Exclusive said, does Jose try to bore the opposition to sleep to win? Well, yet again, half a game. Half a game. We're playing half a game of football. What's that all about? But let me just mention something that I put out on Twitter today. Over £300 million spent, and Jose Mourinho wants to spend more money. And the board get a lot of stick for not backing Jose Mourinho in the summer. I don't like the Manchester United board. It is part of the problem, but they're right not to back him. They're right not to give him any money. Pogba. I love Pogba. Mourinho hasn't got the best out of him. Call him a flop, whatever. I don't think he's a flop, but Mourinho hasn't got the best out of him. So that's not been a successful signing. Zlatan was good for 8 months. He scored a lot of goals, but actually missed a lot of chances and got injured and went. Bailly has to be a flop. A bit like Pogba, but played far less. I think Bailly's a good player, but he doesn't pick him. So that's a bad signing. Mkhitaryan, already been and gone. Flop. Lukaku, one good season, flopping this season. Crap this season. Matic, very, very good signing till Christmas. Been poor for 8 months. Bad signing at the moment. Dalot, not playing. Lindelof, played well last night, but in the main has been massively not what anybody thought he was going to be. Fred, not being picked. Now, there probably are other signings, but they're the 9 main ones. None of them actually being a good signing. None of them been a good signing. And he wants more money to be spent on him when his signings have failed. In the main, they have failed, or he's not picking them. So I just don't get what we're meant to be building. I don't get why people are backing Mourinho. And most of all, I just think this is the massive. What I would say about the board is that this is a massive indication of the board's problem, the lack of leadership, the lack of understanding of football. Because how can that man do all that with all the money he spent, waste it, have us in 10th in the league, embarrass us last season against Sevilla, lose an FA Cup final like we didn't turn up. This season, terrible football, and has the balls, after losing a game where everybody was excited to say we missed Fellaini, I couldn't make any subs because I didn't have options on the bench. Ex-player of the year, Herrera. Andreas Pereira, probably our most informed player since the summer, who he doesn't pick. Fred, he spent £50 million on. Eric Bailly, he bought as well. And puts Tahith Chong on there just as a sort of work experience, sit on a Manchester United bench for a night because I'm never going to use you. I just think I do not understand why he's still in charge of this club, but I don't expect him to be going anywhere. I think what's going to happen is we'll beat Everton, we'll beat Bournemouth, everyone will be back saying we're going to win the league, back Jose, we'll lose to Juventus, we'll lose to Man City, we'll be like, oh, let's get rid of him. International break will come. People will be calming down because the international break, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Palace at home will beat them, back Mourinho. Next tough fixture will lose. Christmas, back in the Europa League. The club won't sack him. They'll think, let's win the Europa League and we'll get back in the Champions League with Mourinho. And lo and behold, we'll still have Jose Mourinho here this time next year with the same crap problems that we've got. Shivers Singh says, Mark, after having to spend nearly as much as City, how can this guy have the audacity to compare United to a club like Valencia? No disrespect to them. These hiccups are absolute. I've never had hiccups live on air. And they're absolutely destroying me. Please do drop a like on the video, everybody. Really appreciate that. If we can get to 500 likes while we are live. But look, I'm struggling here. Not just with the hiccups, but I'm struggling here with what we are as a club. I think there's people like me at the moment who are adamantly Jose Mourinho out. There's not one part of me that is anywhere near coming back. The Chelsea result was okay. The Newcastle result was against the crap team and we won a game of football, which was great. The defending against Chelsea was schoolboy. The performance against Juventus yesterday was shambolic. We hardly created anything at home. In a European night at Old Trafford where the crowd is ready to rock, and the manager puts out a team and a performance like that willingly with no substitutions. He doesn't change it. We're losing 1-0. 1-0 is always a result you can get back, and there's no effort. There's no ability to change it from the touchline. There's no tactical, let's go for it and try and at least get a point that could be massively valuable. It really is defeatist, negative nonsense. And as I said, he's walking up and down the touchline with a grin on his face. Johnny English, B-Tech Johnny English with his bloody turtleneck and his blazer, giving three fingers to Juventus fans because he's harking back to Inter again, like he was at the weekend with Chelsea fans and his 3 titles. The man's lost the plot. He's lost the plot. I mean, I don't even know if he knows where he is anymore. Is he going stir crazy in the Lowry in his hotel room and he's lost all, is he drawing things on the wall in crayons? I don't know what he's doing. Because he's not a Manchester United manager. He's got no idea what Manchester United is. Now, neither did David Moyes, and you could argue to a certain extent neither did Louis van Gaal, but Jose Mourinho has managed in this country, and he should know exactly what Manchester United's all about. He's got no bloody idea. He's got no idea what we are. And that is abundantly clear from last night. Look, anybody can lose to Juventus. Of course they can. But not anybody is going to host Juventus at their ground and sit back and play negative football with 75,000 people demanding, desperate to enjoy a massive game against a massive opposition. We sit back, we give the opposition the ball, and we do next to nothing. We do nothing. And I think apathy reigns at Manchester United. This is what happened with Van Gaal. There was a lot of fans who wanted Van Gaal gone from the Christmas before he was sacked. But there was still a lot of fans who stuck by Van Gaal, and they were wrong. And there are still a lot of fans sticking by Mourinho now. I mean, I heard... I like the Verve, Bittersweet Symphony, Sonnet's a cracking song, but Richard Ashcroft, who's the lead singer of the Verve, well, he's not anymore because they don't exist, but he does a solo album. You can buy it in all good HMV shops. But he's a United fan. He spoke about, I'd rather get relegated and play with players that are within 30-mile radius of United and play the way we should do than the current situation that we have. But he wouldn't go in on Mourinho, who's blaming the board. I think people need to just differentiate here. The board thing's been there for years. I don't like this let's blame the Glazers, let's blame the board, because that's got nothing to do with Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho is a blamed object in himself. The board, the Glazers, you should be moaning about them when Sir Alex Ferguson was winning titles. Because they're always a problem. I agree with them being a problem, but they're not suddenly a problem because we're performing badly on the pitch. They were a problem when we were winning the European Cup. They were a problem when we were winning Premier League titles. If you know anything about the board of Manchester United, the owners of Manchester United, and if you have a problem with the owners of Manchester United, then you should have a problem with them consistently and not be a fair weather flip-flop going, I'm going to go in on the board because we're not winning on the pitch. You should be going in on the board when we're winning on the pitch, because the ownership of Manchester United is wrong. It is wrong. We were bought on debt. We're owned by people who don't care about the club or the fans or what happens, and that doesn't matter whether we're winning or not. What's happening at the moment in its own bubble with Jose Mourinho is Mourinho's fault. He sets the tactics, he picks the team, and what he wants you to believe, Jose Mourinho wants you to believe, is that he's been here for 5 minutes. He wants you to believe he's been here for 5 minutes and he's building something for the future. And he speaks about Juventus being a great team and my team being a little bit naive and inexperienced. It's year 3. You've had 5 transfer windows. It's year 3. You've had £300 million. It's year 3. We don't know your formation. It's year 3. We don't know your philosophy. It's year 3. You're still playing crap football. It's year 3. We still haven't played for more than one half in a game. It's year 3. Forget your 5 bloody minute mentality that you think, you're building something. It's year 3. Most people would be sacked by now because you've had long enough. You've had long enough at this club to come out after a match like last night and say, we missed Fellaini. He should be sacked for that. He should be sacked for that. And you know what? That prompts something in my mind about Fellaini. I wanted Fellaini gone in the summer, and Mourinho begged this club to keep him. He begged this club to keep Marouane Fellaini, right? He got his own way with Fellaini, and he's kept Fellaini. But what did I say to you when Fellaini stayed at Manchester United? Amongst the tears and the crying that he was staying, what did I say? If anyone can remember it, I'll be surprised. But, well, I wouldn't be surprised with you lot because you're very, very intelligent people. But what I said about Fellaini is, forget Mourinho's obsession with him, the longing to go on international breaks on canal boats, reading bloody his Wikipedia page. Mourinho loves Fellaini, we know that. But the fact is, with Marouane Fellaini, if you look at Marouane Fellaini's career over the last 12 months, he's injured a lot. He was a bad signing to make, regardless of how good he is, because he's always bloody injured. He's the new Phil Jones. He's always injured. He's 31, I think, this year. But he's always injured. I'm killing myself here. Fellaini stuck in my throat. It's his hair. But seriously, he's always injured. I mean, Chelsea at the weekend, them last 10 minutes where they're pumping them long balls in. Fellaini off the bench, I agree, would have been a great option. He's injured. Mourinho's talking about him last night. I missed Fellaini. I missed Fellaini like a bloody hole in the head. But Mourinho missed Fellaini. He openly says, I missed him. But he's injured, mate. He's bloody injured because he's always injured. Last season he was injured a lot as well. He's always picking up knocks. Now, some of us are quite pleased about that because he can't play. But he's always injured. So not only did you beg the club to keep your best player, your favourite player, but we also kept another bloody player that's always injured. It just defies logic. I'm not going to throw him under the bus because it's unfair. Where's my best mate actually? Messaged me today and he said, it feels like Mourinho is just bantering our club now. It feels like he's getting us back for all the mocking we did when we were winning titles under Sir Alex and he was getting kicked out of Chelsea. It feels like this is a sabotage, which is obviously, I'm not going to jump on that and say that's the case. I really don't think it is. I think Mourinho is happy because he knows, yeah, I'm probably going to get the sack at some point, but I'm going to get 20 million quid out of it. And I think he just doesn't care. So I think maybe a few weeks ago he was like, I'm going to try and play really good attacking football and win this round. I think now he's like, sod that, I'm going to do what I want to do. And if it works, it works. I did it my way. If it doesn't work, I get £20 million in the pocket. I can do a bit of Christmas pantomime, I think that's what the case is. I really do. But I must go back and say at the start, how is Jose Mourinho having Manchester United on strings? The board should sack him this morning, not just because of what's happened, not for Juventus last night, for what's happened this season. We're 10th in the league. He should get the sack. But he should also get the sack for what he did again after the match in the press conference, talking about the board not backing him. The board have got every right to pull him in the office today and say, we didn't back you because you've had £350 million and you've wasted it. We're not giving you any more money. It's the biggest myth. I heard Rio Ferdinand and Paul Scholes on about it on BT Sports last night, and they're right. It's the biggest myth that he keeps throwing out there. I mean, Mourinho is Teflon. Nothing sticks. He's not having bat think, because that's me, wings of steel. But he is. Nothing gets through. It's never Mourinho's fault. He's impenetrable. It's not his fault. It's never his fault. But his excuses are terrible. I missed Fellaini. You shouldn't have bloody signed him. He's injury prone. I didn't get the players I want. You've already had a load of players and they're all flopping because you don't know how to use them or the crap. Oh, we're building something for the future. Year 3, it's just deflection tactics. But the club, for some reason, have obviously said to him, your job's safe, we're not sacking you. Because he's on easy street. He's breezing around. He's not haggard anymore. He's freshly cut. He's Johnny English, B-Tech. And he's happier than a, pig in shit. And he's the pig and we're the shit. He's rolling around in it because he's happy. But how that's happening is just goes to the second thing, which I think there are two separates. How inept is our board? How out of touch is our board? I mean, the Glazers sat there in their swimming pool in Florida going, oh man, we lost 1-0 to Juve last night, but I heard this Juve are a good team. So 1-0 is not a bad result, really. If we'd scored a field goal, we would have won that 3-1. I hear Pogba hit the post. That would have been a field goal. That would have been 3 points. 3-1. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's great. We're doing great. And anyway, look, Ed's just got us another denim jean deal. Wow. Yeah, get a pair of those Wranglers on and saddle up the horse. Get off your horse and drink your milk. It's like they don't know what they see 1-0 and they'll go, oh, unlucky, man. They don't know. They don't understand football. They don't know what football is. They don't know what Manchester United is. They've got no idea what we're meant to be. They don't care what we're meant to be. Manchester United, Busby Babes, the Holy Trinity, Sir Matt Busby, Sir Alex Ferguson, Ronaldo, Beckham, Keane. We are something. We matter. We mean something. But we don't to them. They don't care. They don't know. They haven't picked the book up. They haven't watched the DVD. They don't care. They want the money from this club. And when they see 1-0, they're like, yeah, but look at this, Joel. Look at the Wikipedia page for Mourinho. Look at that. He's won Premier League titles. He's won Champions Leagues. He's the man. He's going to turn this around. But we're not going to give him any money. No, he's the man. Wikipedia. He's the man. And that's what it is. That's why Mourinho's safe. Because we're run by people who haven't got a bloody clue about what's going on. Because if they were watching the crap we watch every week, they would go, we're not even Stoke City 2010. That's an insult to Stoke City 2010. We're not Stoke City 2010. We are Mourinho's crap United 2018. And, I think we will beat Everton. I think we'll beat Bournemouth as well. But we're not going to get in the top 4. And we're not going to get out of the Champions League. We're going to be in the Europa League. Emmerdale Cup and 6th place. That's what this season's going to be about. 100%. I'm totally and utterly convinced. And I tell you what, I'll say this as well. I actually don't think we're going to get top 4 no matter what now. Mourinho won't get us top 4, but I don't think a new manager can come in and get us top 4 now, because I think the opportunity to do that has gone. It should have been done Newcastle game. That's when it should have been done. New manager comes in and gets some momentum. By the time Mourinho goes, and Mourinho's probably not going to be gone before Christmas, top 4's gone. And that's on the board. So yeah, I want Mourinho gone. I think he's an embarrassment to the club. I think what he's doing to this football club is a disgrace. And I say that simply because of what's happening on the pitch. His tactics are just a joke. They're not Manchester United. And I'll argue that with anybody. You can back Mourinho, but he's not Manchester United. He's not a Manchester United manager. He is playing abysmal football that doesn't reflect what this club is all about. And it's disgraceful. And I'll argue that with anybody. I'm sorry. I don't care. If you're Mourinho in, that's great. That's your funeral. And it will be. It will be. I'll be 100% right about this. Mourinho is not going to turn this around. He will be sacked. And everybody who's Mourinho out at the moment, you are going to be right. But you know what? I don't want a pat on the back. I don't want to be told you were right all along, because I don't want that. Because what that means is we're not in the Champions League next year. We're back in the Emmerdale Cup. We're back being Banter FC. Well, we already are. And that's what's coming down the line. And that's Mourinho's fault. But also, it's also the board's fault, because they haven't acted quickly enough. Again, they've waited too long. Again, they should have got rid of him already, and every day he's here is causing more damage to this club, because he should be gone, and that's the board's fault. That's the board's fault. Mr. Exclusive says Jose equals Sam Dingle. Of course he does. Of course he does. He equals whatever he wants you to equal. For me, I actually respect Jose Mourinho. I respect his Wikipedia page, but I respect it like I respect Sir Alex Ferguson's Wikipedia page, because you know what? they're finished. They're parked. They're brilliant Wikipedia pages. They've got brilliant honours on there, but they're not relevant anymore because they're not football managers anymore. Sir Alex Ferguson is retired and Jose Mourinho is retired as a Premier League manager. He's just carrying on. He's doing what Wenger did. He's carrying on too long. He's finished. He's finished at this level in the Premier League. He cannot compete with this football at the moment. Now, he could be an international manager. He could go to Italy and be successful. But as a Premier League manager, he is ding, dang, done. Done. Because his brand of football doesn't work in the Premier League anymore. You can't play negative football because people want to play football on the ground. If you come to our... Like, here's a hint. Here's a hint for Everton. If you are a football team, and we'll find out tomorrow night because we've got an Everton fan on. If you are a team that keeps the ball on the ground and moves it quickly, the keys to Old Trafford are yours on Sunday. You will, and if you finish your chances, you will take 3 points. Because we cannot deal with a team that keeps the ball on the ground and moves it quickly. Because we don't do that. That's not what we're about. We are about pragmatic, slow football. That is Mourinho's way at the moment. Everton won't be easy, says Tyler, but I think we'll actually probably end up beating Everton, to be honest with you, because I think that's the way it happens. I think that's what will happen. I think that's what Jose does. I think he gets to a point where we're all fed up of him, and then he wins a game, and the Mourinho flip-floppers flip back on his side. I mean, look, I'd love someone in the live comments. I haven't seen it. Russell says, I'm just going about my business listening to this quality content. Go on all day, Mark. I could go on all day. I could interact with you lot and go on all day because this debate needs to go on all day. My throat won't last up to it and people want me to do some FIFA, so I've got to do that. But I mean, I'll be back at 7 o'clock and we can carry it on. But I just want to see some comments in the live comments as to why you're Mourinho in. You know, I just want to know. Draughty says Goldbridge on fire. DT's hat is terrified. I've let him free. He's not in my pocket anymore. Let him run free. Even he doesn't deserve to watch that shit last night. He can't learn anything from it. Somebody just said you said the same about Juve. Look, I'm not. Don't put your money on me on us beating Everton because I say we're going to win. Certainly don't do that. But I think we will beat Everton because I think that's the way Mourinho does it. If we lose to Everton at the weekend, the demand for him to be sacked will be massive. Which is why I think we won't. I think we'll beat them because that's what Mourinho does. He gets so close to the exit door and then he sort of retracts a couple of steps. Then he goes back to it and retracts. He never quite leaves. And I think that's going to happen again and again and again. I mean, it makes me laugh because people say, oh, United Stan, you're just the new Arsenal fan TV. How does that work then? How does that work? Because if we were the new Arsenal fan TV, we'd want Mourinho to stay at this club for years because it's drama, isn't it? We get Zidane in or we get Laurent Blanc in and we start winning week in, week out. Where's the drama? We're just happy watching good football. That's what I want. I want Mourinho gone now. If I was all about views and controversy, I'd be like, yeah, maybe let's give Mourinho a chance, and I'd fake it because for the next 3 or 4 months it's going to be divided United, isn't it? And loads of arguments. I don't want that. I want him gone. I want to win. I want the smooth consistency of being the best club in the world. I want to be going live and saying, yes, we're playing football that our club's all about. Sit down, everybody else. There may be no controversy in that, but I want that. That's what I'm used to. That's what I want. That's what United's all about. And that's what I want. So there we go. But I expected us to beat I did expect us to beat Juventus last night because it's ingrained in me that when a big team comes to United in the European Cup on a midweek night, we perform. That's what I expect to see. And we didn't. All our rivals want us to keep Jose, Sally Devil Red 7. Exactly. Just like they wanted us to keep Jose Mourinho. Just because how they wanted us to keep Fellaini. Because they're shit. That's why I wanted Arsenal to keep Wenger. Because they're shit. You learn the most about your club and your players from your rivals. Rivals want Martial, Rashford, Pogba, De Gea, Bailly. They're good players. That's why I keep going on about those players, even when people are saying Martial's crap last night. He's allowed a bad game. It's not FIFA 19. Well, he'd be crap in that probably. But, it's not FIFA. Players have bad games. But the 2 previous games, he kept Mourinho in a job. And the tactics last night were abysmal anyway. They didn't suit Mourinho, Rashford or Martial anyway. They were wing-backs at times. But our rivals, whilst they want our good players, they also want Jose and Fellaini and Jones to stay. Because they're crap. And they know that damages us. Whack the like button. I want 500 likes before we go live. Come on, smash that like. Mourinho out. Hit that like. I'm joking, but you can do it if you want. Hal Noor says, I'm Mourinho in because I'm a virgin. See, once you've felt... No, I'm not going to say that. No, we'll move on. We'll move on. Martial never had the service as Andrew Ellis. And enough is enough. I made a terrible mistake to forgive Jose after Chelsea game. He has to go, says Just Gents. Look, I haven't got a problem with United fans who are Jose Mourinho in. I must say that. I've got no problem with you. I respect everybody's opinion because the channel doesn't work if we don't do that. And I understand why a lot of people after the Chelsea result were like, I'm going to give him another chance. And I think if we beat Everton, there will be those fans doing it again. There's nothing wrong with that personality being somebody, I want to give him a chance, I want it to work. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't see the evidence as to why you would do that. We are 10th in the league because we deserve to be 10th in the league. We're only second in that group because Valencia have played 2 away games. We've played 2 home games. Valencia have been to Young Boys and Old Trafford. We've been to Young Boys. We've had 2 home games and took 1 point. Valencia have got us and Young Boys to come. If they beat us and Young Boys, they'll go through. Because we're not going to go... Well, we'll lose to Valencia, obviously. We'll beat Young Boys at home, of course. But we're not going to go and win in Juve. So it's a false positive that where we are in the Champions League. We're out of the Carabao Cup. We're 10th in the league. We're playing crap football. I look at things in a realistic point of view when it comes to football. I can't flip-flop on one result. Last night, evidence is where I'm at. Chelsea didn't, but I was like, it's not enough. So, you've got to make your own mind. You've got to make up your own mind. Apparently, John Underwood says Mourinho spent 400 million since Mourinho came. So there we go. Look, I'm going to end it there because I've got to go and do this FIFA stream. Otherwise, people will revolt. But I'll go back. I'll tell you what. I'm not doing an 8 o'clock show tonight because there are Champions League games and there's going to be a watch along on That's Football, which you can join us for. But what I will do is I'm going to do a bonus show tonight at 7 o'clock because there's so many people in the live comments. I didn't expect to see so many amazing comments in there, and I really just want to open up a show tonight at 7 o'clock. I think we'll just call it Mourinho the Future or something like that, and I really just want to spend the show going through your live comments. I'm not really going to open it up with any topics. I'm just going to go live at 7 o'clock tonight UK time and blast into how you lot are feeling about Jose Mourinho, and if everyone's happy with that, I think it's a good idea. So be ready, 7 o'clock tonight UK time, we'll be live, and I want to take your comments on how you're feeling about Manchester United at the moment and Jose Mourinho, and we'll just read out as many as we can. Drop a like on the video, please. Let's see if we can get up to around 1,000 likes, and leave us your comments as well, because what I'll probably do is read some of the better comments at the start of the show and then some of that as well. Thanks everyone. I'll be on That's Football, Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. Give me about 10 minutes, just got to sort my throat out, and I'll go live on there with a bit of FIFA. I think it's going to be United career mode, by the way, as well. Ooh, that's got you excited, hasn't it? See you in a minute.